Yo, RX back with another breakdown of UFC Des Moines, Iowa, Sandhagen versus Figueiredo. We back with another breakdown of a card that is pretty good. Pretty damn good. A lot like last week's card. A lot of similarities to it. We're still on the road. We are not back to the Apex yet, thank God. So we go from Kansas City all the way to Iowa. And we get a card that's a lot very similar to the card last week. I think last week's main event was better. I think this week's co-main event's better. And then I think the rest you're splitting hairs and you can go either way on paper. Execution. Last week's card was great. We'll see if this week's card is great. It had all the makings to be great. It looks like a really solid card. But we'll see if it lives up to that. So it looks like a good card. Again, you got a good main event, a good co-main event, a lot of names on it, a lot of veterans on it, some prospects. It should be a fun one. 12 fights, going back to Iowa for the first time in years, many years. I think the last time they were in Iowa, I think it's on Instagram, it was like UFC 26 or some bullshit. So that's cool. It's cool that they're not going to just fucking Vegas and London and fucking Mexico. They're actually going to Kansas City and Iowa and da-da-da-da-da. So I like that. Like, they're going to fucking Azerbaijan in a few months. So I'm happy the UFC is starting to get back on traveling. Still not fully. We're still getting two weeks. The 2 of the next 4 cards are Apex cards. Not this one, obviously, or next week. But then we get 2 Apex cards, which is fucking lame. But we are traveling more. A year ago, this would have been an Apex card. So happy it's not. Happy we're traveling more, and happy we going to Iowa, not goddamn where Boston or somewhere they go all the fucking time. So should be a fun one. I'm very excited for this card. Looks to be a fun one. If it can be half as good as last week's card, we're in for a goddamn treat. And yeah, man, I'm very excited. So I don't think there's much more to add. Like I said, before we get into the breakdown, I can't really think of much more to add. I think the card's similar to next week on paper, hopefully in execution as well. It should be a good card. Should be a good crowd. And I'm excited. So, not really a lot more I can think to say. Yeah, not very much else to add, so let's just get into the breakdown, shall we? Last thing to say before I do is, as always, gotta get the YouTube show out of the way. Please like, comment, and subscribe. 100 subs goal by the end of 2025. So I always gotta say that. It never fucking works, but whatever, what can you do? Either way, I love y'all, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you subscribe or not, just enjoy the video, and maybe someday we'll hit that 100. We've been stuck at 72 for months now, but what can you do? Besides say, fuck it, I'm gonna keep doing these for y'all, and I love doing them for y'all, so let's do another one for y'all. UFC Des Moines, Iowa, Sandhagen, Figueiredo, breakdown, 12 fights, you ready? I know I am, let's go. 12 fights in total, as I've said, and we begin all the way down in the women's flyweight division with our first fight of the night. A lot of women's fights starting cards off lately. We had the last 2 cards start with women's bantamweight, and now we start with women's flyweight here, as we begin the night with a very low level fight, as we start with the first 2 fights of this card are very low level. as we begin the night with a low-level and not great fight between Juliana Killer Miller versus Ivana Petrović. Yeah, not a great way to say welcome back, Iowa, to the UFC. Like I said, these first two fights of the night are just oof. Low level is an understatement, so let's just talk about them real quick and get them out the way as we begin the night at women's 125. At least not women's bantamweight for the third card in a row. As we begin with our first fighter of the night, the returning Killer Miller. 28 years old, 1-2 in UFC, has not fought since 2023. In those first 3 UFC fights, she did win the Ultimate Fighter, beating Brogan Walker, where she looked amazing, and then it went downhill. She had her first fight since the Ultimate Fighter against Veronica Hardy, and got beat. Not the worst L in a row, Veronica Hardy at that time. We did not know that she got good, and kind of just beat Julie on the ground. Then the Juana Santos fight happened, and that was a bad look. She just got embarrassed. She, like I said after the fight, did she even train? Because it did not seem like it. She had no idea what a punch was, how to block it, or anything along those lines. She looked fucking terrible. And now she's been off for 2 years, which, at how green and inexperienced she is, could be a good thing if I had any faith in her actually getting better. Because I don't think she is. I don't think she has got better. Because A, she would need to get better at everything, and B, I don't think she's taken a lot of time in the gym. For whatever reason, she's been off, injuries, whatever the fuck. I don't think she's, even if she is healthy, I don't think she's taking a lot of time in the gym. I think she's busy on that OnlyFans. Actually, I know she is, because she always fucking posts about it on Instagram and bullshit like that. Which, as you know, that's a ginormous red flag if a fighter has an OnlyFans, because they usually suck ass. Name me one good female fighter with an OnlyFans. Don't take Jessica Andrade. That's a cop-out. Juliana Miller, Hannah Goldie, fucking Jessica I, etc., all cans, because they don't focus on fighting, they focus on that OnlyFans money, which I respect it. But why even show up to the fight then if you're not trying? So OnlyFans is probably paying you better, which is sad. But what can you do? Long story short, with Julie, unless she's got extremely better in the last 2 years, which is unlikely, is probably gonna be another bad night for her, because her striking, when she actually does throw strikes, they're really awkward, but they're not awful. Her defense is non-existent. She can't take a punch. And in her ground game, she's very weak, it seems like. It seems like she's very easily outpowered in the ground department. Her submission attempts kind of suck. She puts herself in bad positions. Maybe, she's young. She's very young into her MMA career. She's only 28 years old. So yes, there's a world where she has got better. But is it likely? I don't think so. So, I'm not even sure why they didn't just cut her after, I get she won the Ultimate Fighter, but, so what? That season sucked anyway. So, and Brogan Walker is fucking garbage. Her best one is Claire Goosery, who I think is underrated, but is not that good either. So we'll see. Maybe Killer Miller has got better, but I have my doubts about Juju. So we'll see if Julie's got better. If she has, she will win this fight easily. If Ultimate Fighter Miller shows up here, she'll win. But I've not seen Ultimate Fighter Miller in 2.5 years. To talk about her opponent, Ivana Petrović, she is also 1-2 in the UFC, not coming off of any special show. She just got a contract straight up after going 5-0 in Aries and winning their bout and defending it once. In the UFC, though, she's not been as good. in her UFC debut, she lost to Luana Carolina. I guess that's not the worst L in the world, but still never a great one. She beat Na Liang, which means nothing, and she in her last fight back in November lost to Jamie Lynn Horth in a pretty boring fight. Kinda close, but not really. Yeah, her 2 losses have just been her getting beat by smarter veterans who are kind of just better. Not by much, but are better. And then she beat Na Liang, which means nothing. I think Ivana's terrible, to be honest. I really don't think there's anything positive about her game. Her striking is non-existent from what I remember. Her grappling's subpar. Her cardio is okay. She's not very good, if we're being honest. 30 years old, 7-2. I don't think she's good. If Juliana Miller were to win a fight, it'd probably be against Ivana, because I do think Ivana is one of the worst in that weight class. But I said one of, and not the, because I think I think Ivana is probably fighting the worst in the weight class now. It's a complete tomato. This should be an Invicta fight, if we're being honest. They're not good. But even Ivana looks pretty okay against Juliana Miller, so I don't think highly of Ivana. But the only win she has in UFC so far was against a fighter about the same caliber as Juliana Miller, so take that as you will. Maybe Ivana won't look like pure dog shit for once. We'll find out. The betting odds first fight have Ivana Petrović -250 to +205. Yeah, it's kind of hard to dispute that. As bad as I think Ivana is, she should beat Juliana Miller. I struggle to see her losing this fight. On the feet, I think Julie's better, but I don't think Ivana's going to have a striking match of her. I think Ivana's going to be smart and take the Veronica Hardy approach and kind of just get Julie on the ground and just defend her shitty arm bars and you'll be fine. So, in a striking match, it's going to be competitive. I think it's going to be close, but I don't think Ivana's going to go for that game plan, like I said, because she can't strike. So Julie can't really strike either, but I think Miller is the better striker here, not by much. But I do think she's probably the better striker. Not the rare time Julie is not the lengthier, taller fighter, so that's rare. But, so yeah, that might fuck her up. But we've seen Ivana beat lengthy, tall fighters before, so I think Juliana Miller is barely better than Na Liang. So, and Ivana beat her, so she should beat Juliana Miller. I would be amazed if she chokes away a fucking layup the UFC is giving her. So, give me Ivana Petrović by decision, get it to the ground, hold her down, and win. It's truly that simple. So, low-level affair, someone has to get a win. Give me Ivana Petrović by decision. First time ever picking against Juliana Miller. I just can't convince myself to pick her. She is not a fighter. She's an OnlyFans model who fucking sucks. Ivana by decision to begin the night. After that, we go to our second fight of the night, which is not much better. I would probably say it might be worse, to be honest, because goddamn, this is pathetic. Just pathetic. Like, I can't say it much nicer or simpler than that. And then our second fight of the night, we go all the way from the flyweights to the heavyweights for our second and final low-level fight of the night. Thank God. As we have Montel, Lord, Quang, Mays versus Thomas the Train Petersen. Whew, God. Again, these first two fights are rough on this card. After this, it gets good, but these first two are fucking rough. So let's just get out the way as quickly as possible so we can move on to actual fights. And we'll begin this last dogshit fight with the Lord Quang Montel Mays, who is still here for some reason. Dantel in the UFC is 4-6-1 after being on the Contender Series 3 times. Jesus, he's ass. His 4 wins in the UFC since the Contender Series have been Rogue Martinez, Josh Parisian, Andrei Arlovsky, and Kyle Machado. His losses have been Cyril Gane, Rodrigo Nascimento, Augusto Serhiy, Rodrigo Nascimento, Shamil Gaziev, and Vulture Walker. And he had a no contest with Hamdi Abdelawab, which was a loss at first, though really he's 4-7. And what do you want me to say about this dude? He's fucking garbage. 33 years old, 11-8. His only wins in UFC have been tomato cans or old legends. Like, and then even in those wins, has he looked good? Not really. Like, what's he even good at? His striking? Not really. He has really no power. His striking is not great. His cardio is a fucking joke. He's gassed 3 minutes into the fight. He has no ground game. Like, he's fucking terrible, man. I don't know why they usually keeps him around. He should have been cut. He probably never should have been signed because he's so bad, but I get they gotta fill out heavyweight, but Jesus Christ, why the fuck is this dude still on the payroll? Get this motherfucker out here. He is garbage. I don't even know why I'm still breaking down Dontel May's fights in 2025. It's like, get fucking real already. Maybe the worst heavyweight on the roster. You can make a fucking debate between him and Mohammed Usman because Jesus Christ. To talk about his opponent, who is not much better, Thomas Petersen, as well, 1-2 in the UFC at 30 years old. I swear he's a lot younger. Another Contender Series alum, but he did not need 3 tries to get a contract. He needed 1, yes, against a fat fuck, but still. Since the Contender Series, he has went 1-2, with that 1 win being, as funny enough, Mohammed Usman, and his 2 losses, Jamal Pogues and Shamil Gaziev. What do you want me to say? In that Pogues fight, he couldn't get a takedown, just got outstriked. Against Usman, he couldn't get a takedown, but didn't need it, because Usman sucks so bad. And then Shamil Gaziev put him out pretty badly, only 2 months ago. So, yeah, what do you want me to say? Thomas Petersen is your basic wrestler. He can't strike for shit. He has no power, no striking. He's just trying to get you on the ground and lay on you. That's it. That's literally it. I can't put it in simpler terms. He just wants to get you down and lay on you. So, that's all. That's all I can say. The balance for today, you have Thomas Petersen minus 240 plus 195. Yeah, I would have to probably agree. Maybe you can move it down a little bit to maybe a 210 because it is still Thomas Petersen. But overall, I think we all can picture this fight. Petersen's going to do the same thing Shamil Gaziev did against Dontel, and that's just lay on him for 15 minutes. I don't see Dontel getting the fucking knockout on the feet. I don't think he's that good of a striker anyway. And even if it was a striking match, Petersen might win that. So, give me Thomas Petersen by decision. I think it's going to be just like the Shamil Gaziev fight. He's going to lay on Dontel and get a win. Dontel's never got better on the ground and against a guy who's a decent wrestler, and that's it. Good luck. Give me Thomas Petersen by decision. I struggle to see Dontel pulling off the upset here. He's just not good. So, I literally can't think of one good thing about Dontel Mays. So, he's just a terrible fighter. Give me Thomas Petersen by decision, and it should be a boring fight, but it'll finally get Dontel Mays cut, so pros and cons. And a pro of finishing that breakdown for that fight is we finally get to real fights. Hallelujah. As we move to our 3rd fight of the night, our first decent fight of the night between decent fighters and not low-level cans, as we have, and of course it's in the bantamweight division, the division that's just all talent. We have in our third fight of the night, our first real fight of the night, Gaston, the Dream Killer Bolaños versus Quang Bang Lee. God, this is fresh air after fucking Juliana Miller and Dontel Mays. God damn, this is fucking beautiful to see. And this ain't even a great fight. This is okay. Just about anything's better than fucking Dontel Mays and Juliana Miller. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Our first actual fight of the night that's not a low-level cans. I'm all for it. Let's talk about it. Thank you, Bantamweight, for being amazing. And let's talk about Gaston Bolaños first. Gaston in the UFC is 2-1. He flipped the script. 2-1, 32 years old. In his first three UFC fights, he has beat Aaron Phillips and Cortavius Romulus, and he lost to Marcus McGee. In his 2 wins, yeah, he's beat kind of the bottom of the barrel at bantamweight, Aaron Phillips, who's not good, and Cortavius Romulus, who just got cut after his second L in the UFC. And then in his only loss, he lost to the top 15 ranked Marcus McGee, who is great and needs to fight again already. So, yeah, I can't really say anything bad about that fight. And he didn't even do that bad in that fight from what I remember, so. I like Gaston. I think he's a solid fighter. I don't think he's amazing. He's not going to be top 15 or anything. But for what he is as a fighter, he's not bad. I wish we could see him against a striker and we actually could see the kickbox for once. But I'll give him this for going into a new sport. His ground game is not bad. Aaron Phillips tried to test him on the ground. He did alright. Cortavius tried to, and he did really well. Like, funny enough, the one time he fought a striker, he got knocked out, but that's because Marcus McGee is fucking amazing. So, I like Gaston. I think he's a decent fighter. I don't think he's gonna do much. He's 8-4. He's 32 years old. He's very green to an extent still. I think a lot of guys probably still beat him, especially the higher caliber of guys, but I think Gaston has the talent to beat these lower echelon guys, and so far he has, and he's getting another one here, so I like Gaston. I picked him as a big underdog against Cortavius, which was fucking free money. The only underdog to win on that card, so I know my shit. And, let's see how Gaston looks in his 4th fight out of the Apex for the first time since his debut. See how he looks against a guy who might strike with him a little more than his last than his first 2 wins, but probably will still go for a wrestling game plan. As I'm talking about his opponent, Quang Lee. Quang in UFC is 0-2, even though you can make a case for 1-1. I kind of think he could have got that decision against Chris Gutierrez, but what can you do? In his first 2 UFC fights, he has fought Chris Gutierrez on short notice and Long Zhao. Gutierrez, again, he did pretty decent against. Do I still call this a robbery? No, so I guess I do agree Gutierrez won. I remember at the time I thought Lee won, but whatever. And then in his last fight against Long Zhao, he got fucking demolished. 33 years old, 8-2. He's one of those guys who had a really good short-notice debut and then got exposed really fucking badly on a full camp. Yeah, and that Long Zhao fight was bad. He got his ass handed to him. He couldn't get the fight down. He does not really have much striking, and it went pretty fucking bad for the kid, and I feel bad almost, because again, he got put out bad. So, we'll see how he looks here. Do or die for him. If he loses this, he's probably getting cut. His game plan is going to be grappling. He's not going to want to strike with Gaston Bolaños after just getting KO'd. His grappling is okay. He took Gutierrez down a few times, but he didn't do anything special on the ground. He does have a few submission wins, so he might try and strike at first, but I feel like the second he gets clipped a few times or even dropped, he's going to shoot. And then we're going to see what happens there. Nothing new for a Gaston fight. again, his first 2 wins in UFC have been guys who want to just grapple him, and he's been able to stop them. And so I think it's going to be a lot of the same. I think Quang's going to... Cause Quang's not that good. His striking is not good at all, to be honest, and his grappling's okay. So we'll see what he can do here. Again, I think it's going to be a situation of Quang, it'll start off striking, and then after Lee gets cracked a few times, he's going to shoot. So we'll see if he can get those takedowns or not. Only one way to find out. The betting on first fight have Gaston Bolaños minus 185 to plus 155. Yeah. Maybe moving down a tiny bit to maybe a minus 170, but I think Gaston should win this fight. I think Bolaños is just better. I think he's better on the feet. I think for sure he's better on the feet. And on the ground, we've seen him be able to beat grapplers like Petrović, who I think is about the same level as Quang Lee, like in general. So I think it's going to be a lot like the Petrović-Romulus fight. Gaston's going to be stopping takedowns for most of it and winning a decision. So I'd be shocked if Quang goes in there for a 15-minute striking match and makes it out of it awake. So give me Gaston Bolaños by decision, or should I say Ilia Topuria by decision. I just don't really see Quang holding him down. If Aaron Phillips couldn't, when Gaston was still pretty green on the ground, and Petrović couldn't, who I think is the same fighter as Quang almost, I don't see Quang doing it. So give me Gaston Bolaños by decision, and what should be a fine fight, but it should be a normal Gaston Bolaños fight of stopping takedowns, because no one actually wants to strike with him outside of McGee, who's Marcus fucking McGee. So give me Gaston Bolaños by decision. Speaking of grappling, for our 4th fight of the night, our most disrespected fight of the night, how is this not on the main card over some fights? I won't ever know. A top, 11 battle at strawweight, so shocker, the UFC is being fucking bullshit. And then our 4th fight of the night, a very, very good fight, again, brutally disrespected, as we have in our 4th fight of the night, going all the way down to strawweight, we have Marina Rodriguez versus Gillian the Savage Robertson. Again, why is this so low on the card? It's a big fight at strawweight. Why is this not happening next week with a goddamn Canadian? Maybe you make a case for the best Canadian fighter, because the 2 best Canadian fighters are female. Yeah, why is this not happening next week? Or on the main card of tonight? So, I don't get it. This fight's getting brutally disrespected, but whatever. UFC, what do you expect? Let's talk about it. A top 15 battle at strawweight. Let's see what happens, as we'll begin with Marina Rodriguez. Marina in the UFC is 7-5-2. Weird ass UFC career. Her wins in the UFC have been Jessica Aguilar, Tisha Pennington, Amanda Hebus, Michelle Waterson, Mackenzie Dern, Yan Xiaonan, and Michelle Waterson Gomez twice. Her losses have been Carla Esparza, it's probably a robbery, Amanda Lemos, Verna Jandiroba, Jessica Andrade, and Aspen Lucindo, and she had 2 draws with Randa Marcos and Cynthia Calvillo coming out contender series. Excuse me. Marina's a weird case. She started off in UFC really goddamn well. Probably should have been on a 5-fight winning streak. Probably should have got a title shot. And ever since that, after that Yan Xiaonan fight, everything's went downhill. Now 1-5. Her only win was a super washed Michelle Waterson. Her losses: Amanda Lemos beat her on the feet, Verna beat her on the ground, Andrade beat her mainly on the ground, which says a lot when Jessica Andrade is becoming a grappler on you and winning. And Aspen Lucindo beat her on the ground, and even though that was a competitive fight, you could make a case she could have won these last 2 fights, and I wouldn't be against it. But she didn't. So she didn't. It's that simple. Marina has just been figured out at this point. At this point, I would be shocked if she wasn't figured out. 38 years old, so getting old and old and old. 17-5-2. Again, people have just figured out her game. She's a really damn good striker. Like, we saw that in the Miesha Waterson rematch. She can still strike. One of the top strikers in the fucking women's divisions. But everything outside of that, she can't grapple for shit. She has no idea how to get up off the ground. So, how she hasn't been submitted yet, I don't know. I feel like that might change eventually. But, like, she has no fucking grappling. Outside of that, her cardio's okay. Her striking's great. Her power's sneaky good. It's just that fucking grappling has been her death sentence. In her last three of her last 4 losses. She's just fucking can't grapple. It's that simple. So, and now she's fighting another top grappler. Yeah, I think we know how this fight's gonna go. I like Marina. I was high on Marina. She, again, probably should have got a title shot, to be honest, after that Yan Xiaonan win, but UFC fucked her over. And now she's 1-4 in her last 5, now fighting Gillian Robertson. That's good fucking luck. To talk about that opponent, Gillian Robertson. Joe Rob in UFC is 12-6, been in the UFC a long ass time. Not really gonna go down her whole UFC career. I will point out a few nice wins. Let's see, Molly McCann. I think that's Molly's UFC debut. Veronica Hardy, Sarah Frota, her only TKO. Courtney Casey, Cashweda, Akapova, Pierre Rodriguez, Payana Viana, Michelle Waterson, Luana Pinheiro. Her losses in UFC have been Mayra Bueno Silva, Macy Barber, Talia Santos, Miranda Maverick, JJ Aldridge, and Tabitha Ricci. Joe Rob has been amazing in UFC lately, being 5-1 in her last 6 is pretty damn nice. Yeah, I'll give her that. She's not fighting top competition. Not in UFC anymore. Not that great. Not in UFC anymore. Retired. Garbage. So I'll give her that, but she's still winning. So she's still young, which is insane for how many fights she's had. 29 years old, 15-8. We know what we're getting with Joe Rob. She wants to submit you. It's that simple. She can't really strike. Kind of the same thing I just said with a few fighters. She's very, I guess, the best comparison on this card so far would probably be Thomas Petersen. She can't really strike for shit. She's not the worst striker, but it's far from something she's good at. On the ground, she's amazing. She's fucking great on the ground, but she just can't strike for shit on the feet, so. But we know her game plan, and against someone who is... The UFC cannot match Marina up against a worst opponent, so I think we're going to see another Gillian Robertson masterclass, and probably her 4th win in a row, her longest winning streak of her career. Yeah, well, I don't really have to say much. I think we know what we're getting with Joe Rob. Fucking 9 submissions in UFC, or well, not in UFC, but 7 in UFC. She's really damn good. It's truly that simple. I don't know what you want me to say. The Bangers first fight have Gillian Robertson minus 280 to plus 280 to plus 230. You could even have her a bigger favorite in my opinion. You could have Joe Rob like minus 300. She was my her and who I actually picked for the lock of the night were my 2 lock of the night options. I don't see Joe Rob losing this fight unless Marina learned how to stop a takedown at 38 years old or learned how to get up from it. I don't see Joe Rob losing this fight. She's just gonna do what she always does, and she's just gonna do what everyone does against Marina Rodriguez at this point. She's just gonna take her down. So I've seen Marina lose too many times by the same way. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me, 3 3 times in the last 4 losses. You just are not good on the ground. So give me Gillian Robertson by... Marina's gonna get submitted eventually. Give me Joe Rob by submission in the first. I think Marina's gonna get submitted eventually, and this might be that eventually. Azamat couldn't, but she's not good. Andrade can't grapple for shit. Verna not doing it was surprising, but Verna's a lot more passive on the ground than Joe Rob, I think. So Verna doesn't hunt submissions; she waits for them to come to her. Joe Rob's gonna hunt that shit. So and Joe Rob actually throws ground and pound. So I think she's gonna get her first submission in actually a long time, in 2 years. Give me Gillian Robertson by submission first. I think Marina's gonna get submitted sooner than later, and this might be sooner. So Gillian Robertson, it hurts to say because I am a Marina Rodriguez fan. Kind of same thing as Juliana Miller. I'm a fan of these fighters, but after a while, I'm not gonna fucking throw a pick away because I'm a fan of you. You gotta fucking earn that shit. And Marina, I just think, is done. So, give me Gillian Robertson by submission in the first. Sucks to say, but I just can't pick Marina Rodriguez in a fight like this. And against a striker, I'll pick Marina Rodriguez most of the time. Not against a grappler. So, that's simple. After that, we go to our co-main event of the prelims, all the way up to the middleweight division for a weight class that was very busy last week, and we'll see how busy it is this week. I think it's the only one of the only 2 fights in that division, so another week of only 2 middleweight fights. So we'll see if they make the most of their spotlight. And then our first of 2, our first middleweight co-main, our prelim co-main event, we head to middleweight for a decent fight, not amazing, not awful, as we have Azamat Iron Bekoev versus Ryan Man of Steel Loder. This is a decent fight, especially if it goes the way that it should. This is not a bad fight at all, so let's talk about it. We'll begin with Azamat Bekoev, a guy who I badly underestimated in his debut, and he proved me the fuck wrong. Obviously, he is 1-0 in UFC, coming off his debut where he came in on short nose and put Zachary Reese to fucking sleep quickly in 3 minutes. Yeah, this dude's pretty good. This dude's pretty good. We saw his striking on display, got a nice ground and pound finish. We didn't even really get to see his grappling, but the dude is clearly a decent grappler at 8 submissions. On a 6-7 fight winning streak, 7 fight winning streak. I'm excited to see this dude fight again. He looked really damn good in his debut, even again, it was against Zachary Reese, who's not good, but to beat a dude like Reese on short notice is pretty impressive. And a lot of people hyped this guy up going into his debut, so I see the hype. Dude looked good. 29 years old. He's pretty experienced. Don't look like he's fought the best level of competition outside the UFC, but what can you do? We'll see how he looks here on a full camp against Loder, who I don't think's that good. I'm excited to see this kid back. I think he's one of the few interesting prospects on this card. Not really prospect heavy. So let's see how Azamat looks. Looked great in his debut. Now let's see him on full camp. Let's see how good he can look against someone who's gonna try and test him on the ground. So that should be interesting. Let's see what happens. Good. I'm excited to see this kid back. I badly underestimated him in his debut. We'll see how he looks here. To talk about his opponent, Ryan Loder, another tough winner, kind of like Juliana Miller. Loder's last fight was winning tough though, so he just did it, beating Robert Valentin. Even though all he kind of did was cuddled him, if we're being honest. He really didn't fight him. Loder is literally just Chris Weidman. Like, that's all. I watched that tough season. That's all I can take away from it. He's literally just Chris Weidman. Can't strike for shit. He just wants to cuddle you. So, it's truly that simple. 33 years old, not fought since August of last year. Making his, I guess, a UFC debut, quotation marks. We'll see how he looks. If he can't get Bekoev down and cuddle him, he's probably gonna get fucked up. So, how did his 1L go? He lost to Tony Green. Yeah. I don't have much good to say about Loder. He's just a boring wrestler. So, he's just a middleweight Thomas Petersen, if we're being honest. So, he's just Chris Weidman. That's simple. That's about all I can fucking say. The payouts for his fight have Azamat Bekoev minus 360 to plus 260. I don't know if I have that big a favorite because I don't know how Azamat is on the ground. Maybe he's really great on the ground. He has 9 submissions, but what does that really mean? I'd probably move him down to maybe minus, I would say 290. I think 290 would sound right. Azamat should win this. He's way better on the feet, on the ground. That's where we'll know if he's going to win this fight. If he can stop takedowns or reverse and get on top, he's going to beat Loder easily. If he has no ground game or no cardio, yeah, he's kind of fucked. So, let's find out. Let's learn about Azamat. We know Loder sucks. He ain't going to do shit in the UFC. Like, how he should fight Torres Finney. That would be fucking perfect. Those two fucktards are just going to run at each other and try and cuddle. But that's for a different conversation. For right now, I'm going to go Azamat Bekoev by knockout in the first. I think either he's going to stop a takedown, make him stand up and strike, and clip him, or he's going to stop a takedown, reverse it, end up on top, and ground and pound his fucking head into the mat. So, give me Azamat Bekoev by knockout in the first. I think Loder's a joke, and I think I'm very intrigued to see how Azamat looks here. If the dude has any ground game and can stop a takedown, he should win this fight. I struggle to see him losing this fight if he has a ground game, because if he has a ground game, then he just stops takedowns and wins. Unless he has no goddamn cardio, which we'll see. He should put Loder out pretty early if he can stop a takedown, so give me Azamat Bekoev by knockout in the first. Just stop a takedown. It's that simple, to be honest. The dude cannot fucking strike, so just knock him out. And now, finally, only 42 minutes in. I'm a little shocked by that. Felt like it's felt longer. Pause. As we head to our early prelim, our featured prelim, a fucking grandma battle. Jesus fucking Christ. As in our featured prelim, again, the quickest we've got to it in a long time, it feels like. Usually we're already at the hour mark talking about the featured prelim, or early prelim. I was right the first time. Featured prelim main event. Whatever, my brain's melting day by day. We have, thanks to this stupid fucking sport, in our prelim main event of the evening in the women's bantamweight division, a fight that probably should have happened 10 years ago, but it's happening now, as we have to end the prelims in the women's bantamweight division. Yana, Foxy, Santos versus Miesha, Cupcake, Tate. Hey, 2014 called, they want their fight back. What the fuck is this? Why is this happening? Who even remembered Miesha Tate was on the roster? And Yana Santos is still here. I don't know why she hasn't joined Thiago yet. Yeah, I don't even get the point of this. Again, this fight's like 10 years late. Miesha 38, Yana 35. Whatever, UFC. You love doing fights way past their due date. So, whatever. Let's talk about it. We'll begin with the higher ranked, I believe, Yana Santos, formerly Kuniskaya. Yana in UFC is 5-5, 500 on the dot. Her 5 wins in UFC have been Lena Landsberg, Marion Renault, Julia Stodarenko, Ketlin Vieira, and Chelsea Chandler. Her losses have been Chris Cyborg, Aspen Ladd, Irene Aldana, Holly Holm, and Carol Hossa. She's a pretty mid fighter. She's been able to beat some lower level competition. Every time she got to step up, like Cyborg, Aldana, and Holm, she got dismantled. Yeah, I've never really been high on Yana. I don't think she's that great of a fighter. She looked good in her last fight, but Chelsea Chandler, who we talked about last week, so take that with a grain of goddamn salt. She is 35 years old, but again, that Chandler fight showed she can still go. She's still a decent striker. Her ground game never really been a strong suit from what I remember. It's not awful, but it's not her fucking main weapon. She's pretty mid. Even at 35 years old, of how shit the division is, she's still pretty mid. So, yeah. Her best win is Ketlin Vieira. Her career highlight is getting mauled by Chris Cyborg in 3.5 minutes in a title fight. So when they were doing that bullshit with Cyborg, so yeah, that's about all I can really say about Yana Santos. Again, I'm just shocked she hasn't joined Thiago and PFL yet, to be honest. To talk about her even older opponent somehow, Miesha Tate. 38 years old, having her first fight in 2 fucking years. Oh, conchimity fuck. 7-6 in the UFC. Not gonna go down her whole UFC career. I'll go down since she's came back in 2021. She has went 2-2. She beat Marion Renault and Julia Avila. She has lost to Ketlin Vieira and Lauren Murphy. Yeah, since coming back, she got handed Marion Renault in her retirement fight, who's just garbage. She got fucking annihilated by Ketlin Vieira in a main event. She tried to move down to flyweight at like 36 years old and got dismantled by Lauren Murphy. As a favorite, I picked Lauren Murphy to win that fight. I'm smart sometimes. And then she fought Julia Avila 2 years ago almost and looked good, but Julia Avila is not really known for being that good. So, the only fighter, I guess Lauren's back in the UFC. We all know, like, early Miesha Tate was fine. She was a fine fighter with how shallow the division was back then. She was one of the top dogs. She won the bout, etc. Since then, since winning the bout, she's went 4-2 or 2-4. So she's just gotten older. She's gotten predictable. She's not really the greatest striker. She's fine. She's okay on the ground, and that's gonna be her game plan here: is get to the ground. So we'll see if that works. Who knows how rusty she's gonna be after another long break in between fights at 38 years old. We'll see how she looks. See what she has left in the tank. So, yeah, about really all I could say. The Bolaños first fight, I think, are a little crazy, having Miesha Tate minus 130 to plus 110. These are the first odds I really don't agree with. How could you... Unless you think Miesha's just going to do the same thing Holly did and just throw Yana on the ground for 15 minutes, which I think's unlikely. I think Holly is better at the old age and stronger than Miesha. So, I just don't see it. And was way more active as a fighter than Miesha. So, I would probably have the betting odds either a pick'em or Yana Santos a little favorite. I just struggle to see... I'm picking Yana here. She's been more active. She just had a fight a few months ago against a younger fighter and destroyed them. Now she's fighting a 38-year-old whose main game plan probably just going to be takedowns. If Yana can stop those takedowns, I guess it's a running theme with this fucking card, she should be able to win. She's probably better on the feet. Again, I don't think Miesha Tate as some fucking striking wizard. So she's good on the ground. Was good on the ground at this point. Who fucking knows? And again, you gotta factor in how fucking rusty is she gonna be. So give me Yana Santos by decision. I just don't think Miesha's gonna be able to throw her on the ground and beat her like Holly did. So give me Yana Santos by decision. Yeah, not really much more to it than that, I don't think. Give me the younger, more active, better fighter. Yana Santos by decision, first underdog of the night. I don't think Miesha got it anymore. She's old, she's not active, and she has one game plan. Give me the active, younger fighter. And that will be that for the prelims. They start bad, but they get good. So, the last 4 prelims are... The middle 3 prelims are pretty good. The Yana fight's probably gonna suck, and the first 2 fights kinda suck. So, 3-3. Can't complain. It's a fine prelims, so I'm excited to see the 3 fights. And the other 3 don't be too terrible. So, yeah. Outside of that, not very much more to say about the prelims. This is good. These are not great. And let's move on to the main card. So, only 51 minutes in. This might be a shorter breakdown. Knock on wood video in general. Knock on wood. So let's not waste any more time. We got 6 more fights to break down. And let's head into the main card. You ready? I am. After being the UFC Iowa main card with a fight that is straight out of a what the fuck. I can't believe I'm looking at this fight right now. I couldn't even believe this fight was booked as in our main card opener. To start the main card in Iowa, we have a fight that makes no fucking sense. A double return fight, which is a first from what I can remember. As we have to begin the main card and the lightweight division, Jeremy Little Heathen Stevens versus Mason the Dragon Jones. What the fuck am I looking at? So, Jeremy Stevens is back. For some reason. Mason Jones is back. For some reason. When this fight was booked, I couldn't even fucking believe it. It sounded fake. Wow. Cool fight. It's gonna be fun as shit. I can tell you right now, this fight's gonna be fun. This has Fight of the Night written all over it. But God, does it make no sense. And this should probably be a BKFC fight. But I'm down to see it in the octagon. The hometown native, Jeremy Stevens, probably just getting a retirement fight. Mason Jones back. I'll talk about him in a minute. What a fight. What a way to be in the main card. I can't fucking wait, to be honest. Let's get into it. I'm going to begin with the OG back for one more dance at home. Little Heathen Stevens is back at 38 years old. 15-8-1 in UFC. Not really going to talk about his first UFC run because I really don't see a point to doing that. That was fucking 4 years ago, and he's done a lot since then. Since he got cut from the UFC, he went and did a lot of shit. He went 1-2 in PFL. He boxed Jose Aldo, who is also back in the UFC now, so what the fuck. He fought Chris Avila on Jake Paul card and lost. But then he got to BKFC and just started dominating. Beat Jimmy Rivera, Bobby Taylor, and Eddie Alvarez. So hasn't looked good. He's looked good. Let's see how much Little Heathen has left in the tank. Like, he's 38 years old. He's probably just getting one last dance at home. He's literally from Iowa, where the card's happening. So, Cool moment for him. A lot better than going out on a brutal losing streak. God damn, I thought he won a fight sometime. Got till his last. Damn, he went on fucking 5-1 in your last 6 fights. That's brutal. Last UFC win 2018 against Emmett. But I guess when you're fighting Aldo's beat Yair, Cater, and Gamrot, what do you really expect? So let's see if Lil Heathens can give us one more highlight, because he'll probably go back to BKFC or whatever after this. So let's see if we can get one more highlight from Lil Heathens at home. Welcome back. And then his opponent, who's also returning, Mason Jones, which I really don't get the point of him coming back. The Jeremy one I understand because he's a fucking an OG, and I can call him a legend, an OG. But I like Mason Jones back. He went 1-2-1 in UFC, really 2-2. He got cut after getting fraud checked, and then went 4-0 against Tomato Cans and Cage Warriors, which sucked. Cage Warriors has kind of been proven to have shitty fighters. And when he was in UFC, he lost to Mike Davis, which is a bad L. But that was a great fight. He beat Alan Petrović, who acted his way out of the loss. Beat David Onama, who would have won that fight on a full camp, and lost to Ludwig Klein. Why is he back again? Maybe he's gotten better. He's 30 years old now. I guess I kind of brought him up last week when I said getting cut at a young age can be a good thing for your career, so we'll see if it was for his, because he's been cut for a few years now. Let's see what the kid can do. We'll see what the kid can bring back to the UFC after going 2-2 in his past run. See what Mason can do. So keep him be the villain here, fighting the hometown boy. Let's see how he looks. The betting odds for his fight have Mason Jones minus 480 to plus 360. Yeah, probably. I'd probably move him down to like minus 450-ish. Like, he should win this fight if we're being honest. Like, but he can't overlook Jeremy. I don't think he is, to be honest. Jeremy's gonna bring a fight to him. Let's be honest. Jeremy is going to fucking fight like his life depends on it, and that's what's gonna make this fight a banger. Very high chance this does not go the full 15. Very high chance we get a fucking fight of the night banger here. I'm excited. I think Mason Jones is going to win this fight. I think he's going to be able to fight smarter and keep Jeremy at range. I think he's much taller. Well, only an inch taller and 3 inches in reach. But he's 8 years younger and has actually been doing MMA the last couple years compared to Jeremy, who hasn't had an MMA fight in 2.5 years and lost to a nobody in his last one. So this should be interesting. I'm very excited. I can't wait for this fight. What a way to begin the card. And Mason's not a wrestler who's gonna fight like a bitch, so this should be fun. Give me Mason Jones by decision. I think this is going to be pure fireworks. I think it's gonna be blood. I think there's gonna be highlights. I think there might be a finish. It's gonna probably get fight of the night. I can't wait. This should be fucking awesome. Doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. No. Do I care? No. Banger. Can't wait. Give me Mason Jones by decision in what should be a just fucking batshit insane, and I love it. Can't wait for that. Mason Jones by decision. After that, we go to our second fight of the main card, the odd one out on the main card, because why is it on the main card over Marina and Robertson? It's not a bad fight. Why is it on the main card over Marina and Robertson? I don't get it, but it's the UFC, we're not meant to, I guess. And then our second fight of the night, going back to the Bantamweight division for a back-to-back fight at Bantamweight, as our next two fights are there. And of course our main event, as we have in our second fight of the night, our second fight of the main card, I should say, our odd one out of the main card, we have Cameron, the baby-faced killer, Smotherman versus Serhiy, Sidey. This should be an interesting one. This should probably be a fun fight, but again, it probably shouldn't be on the main card, but whatever. Let's talk about it. We'll begin with Smotherman. Cameron in the UFC is 1-0, coming off a short-notice debut win against Jake Hadley. He looked really damn good in that fight. Like, we saw him on Contender Series a few years ago get flatlined by Charlampus, which aged pretty terribly. But then he went back to Fury, got a few wins there, and then came back better. Beat up Jake Hadley, who, I know that's a low goddamn bar to fight Jake Hadley, but he did win. And now he's back getting a full camp, and we'll see how he looks. I think Smotherman's good. He really impressed me with that Hadley performance. Like, he really looked like a joke on Contender Series, and he comes back and looks like that. Very impressive. Now back getting a full camp at 27 years old. This dude could be a good prospect in the division. He looked well-rounded. He looked really damn good in his debut. We'll see how he looks. Like, his striking looked crisp. His takedown defense looked decent. I'm intrigued to see how he looks on a full camp. We've seen a small sample size from him so far, getting knocked out in a minute and then beating a low-level opponent. Let's see how he looks against another low-level opponent on a full camp, though. So let's hope he's not one of those cases who looks worse after getting a full camp, because those are the most annoying motherfuckers on the planet. So let's see how Cam looks on a full camp. And then to talk about his opponent, Serhiy Sidey, I don't got a lot to say. I've been pretty vocal about how I think this dude's garbage. He really should be, in his last 3 fights, 0-2-1. On a Contender Series, he got handed a fucking win by early stoppage and shouldn't have got a contract. Then he rematched Roman in the UFC and lost, and then in his last fight he clearly lost to Garrett Armfield. So again, he's 0-2 in the UFC, 0-1 on a Contender Series. This dude's not good. This dude's just not good at all. Like, let's just fucking be honest. This dude's terrible. So it's that simple. He's not fucking good at all. So I don't know what you want me to say. He's garbage. Being honest. Like, I've seen his last 3 fights and I've not been impressed one bit. An early stoppage, a loss to a guy who's not even good, and a loss to Garrett Armfield, as I predicted perfectly. This dude's terrible. And the betting odds make no fucking sense, because they have Sidey minus 155 somehow. Smotherman looked better in 1 fight than Sidey has looked in 3. Smotherman is free money here. It's like, Smotherman should be like minus 190. How is he the underdog? He's way better than Sidey. Like, I don't think Sidey's much better than Jake Hadley. And Smotherman's a big jump up from Roman Tavares. So, like, I don't get these betting odds. I think Smotherman should win this fight. Maybe I'm insane, but just from I saw Smotherman's last fight, I was seeing Sidey's last 3 fights. You tell me which guy looked better. It's Cam Smotherman. Give me Smotherman by decision. I don't see why he's the underdog here. There's no reason for him to be the underdog. He should win this fight. He's way better. Like, he's way fucking better. Who are we fooling? So, give me Cam Smotherman by decision. Free money. They want to just give money away. So, and they're going to succeed here because Smotherman's going to win this fight. It's truly that simple. Smotherman by decision. But all I can really say. Free money. That's what I'll end on. Free goddamn money. After that, we go to our third fight of the main card, staying in a bantamweight division for a even bigger fight in that division for the number 15 ranking at 135. And we have a very big fight, a very good fight, a very interesting fight, as we have in our third fight of the main card, staying at 135, Montel Quilk Jackson versus Daniel Sancora Marcos. Very good fight. Again, a top 15 fight, because Montel is ranked number 15, so let's see who gets that 15th ranking. Does Montel keep it? Does Marcos win it? Let's find out. Normal great matchmaking at 135. Like, there could be a bad matchmaking at bantamweight. So let's talk about it. And so we will begin with the ranked fighter, Montel Jackson. Well, we're gonna see him fight for his one time in 2025, because this dude has no idea what fighting more than once in a year means, because he has never fucking done it, or has not done it since 2021. Montel in UFC is 8-2, coming out of Contender Series many years ago now. His wins in UFC have been Brian Kelleher, Andre Sokermal, Felipe Colares, Jesse Strader, JP Buys, Julio Arce, Ronnie Yaya, and Damon Blackshear. His only two losses have been Ricky Simone and Brett John, two very fine losses. Montel on a nice 5-fight winning streak, few finishes in there. That Damon Blackshear win, which I talked about last week, is aging great, because Damon has fought 3 times since then, and it's won 3. Montel is good. When Montel actually fights, he's really good. But what I just said there is the problem. He never fucking fights. Again, 1 fight in 2024, 1 fight in 2023, 1 fight in 2022, 2 fights in 2021. The dude never fucking fights. Like, the dude probably could be top 10 by now if he actually fought, because he is talented. He's really good on the feet. He has really good power. His grappling is not awful, but it's not a super weakness. He's pretty tall for a weight class at 5'10", 75.5-inch reach. Like, the dude has the most knockdown with that bantamweight. So, like, the dude is talented. He just never fights, and that's been his fucking kryptonite. So that's why it took him so long to get in the top 15, because he only could fight 1 time a fucking year. So I'm shocked to even put him in the top 15. He's so goddamn inactive, but he earned it, and now we get to see how far he can actually go. He is fighting someone unranked, which is weird, but I guess that's kind of the price you pay when you don't fight. So I guess kind of makes sense. So we'll see how he looks here. A win here, and you have to give him someone someone above him in the rankings, no question about it. In 2026, of course, but minor details. So we'll see how Montel looks after another long break in between fights. See how he looks. Hopefully, this fight leads to him actually fighting more. It'd be kind of goddamn nice. To talk about his opponent, Daniel Marcos. Daniel in the UFC is 4-0-1, coming out of Contender Series. His 4 wins have been Simon Oliveira, Davey Grant, John Castaneda, and Adrian Yanez, and he had a no contest with Orichi Lang. Marcos is a fraud, just waiting to be fraud checked at this point, I think. He beat Simon Oliveira, who's garbage. Most people don't even think he beat Davey Grant. Beat John Castaneda in a forgettable fight. And a lot of people don't think he beat Adrian Yanez, so that's 2 decisions now he probably should have lost. He's not that good. Like, his cardio's pretty weak. His striking's okay. His grappling's not great. He's not that good. Again, I think he's just ready to get fraud checked, to be honest. Even the UFC doesn't think he beat Davey Grant, since they gave him a giant step down afterwards. he's not that good. He's been exposed, and now it's time for him to get fully exposed after he loses this fight, more than likely. I don't see him. I would struggle to see him finding a way to fall ass backwards into another win. But at the same time, that is kind of what frauds do. They find a way to win, so we'll see. We'll fucking see. I'm not high on Marcos. I don't think he's that good. I think he's been kind of exposed to not be that good by lesser fighters than Montel, but only time will tell. The betting odds agree with me though, which I'm happy about. Having Montel Jackson minus 200 to plus 170. Yeah, I think those odds look right. You can have Montel a little bit smaller of a favorite, like minus 180 at the smallest, but I think Montel should win. I think he's better on the feet. I think on the ground, I don't think either are that great. I think he probably has better cardio. He has more power. Montel should win this fight. He's much taller. Marcos is just not that good. Marcos has just not shown anything to show he's good. Again, 2 of his fights people only think he fucking won. And then his other 3 wins are his best actual win is John Castaneda, who's perfectly fine. Let's start being honest now. I'm happy the betting odds and people are seeing what I'm saying. Montel Jackson's better. Marcos is not that good. And Montel should win this fight because he's better. So, give me Montel Jackson by decision. It is time for Marcos to get fraud checked fully. And hopefully he doesn't find a way to fall ass backwards into another win. Because he's not good. So, give me Montel Jackson by decision. Better fighter. It's time for a fraudulent run to end by the hands of Montel Jackson. And then we won't see him until 2026, but, shit happens. Montel Jackson by decision. After that, we head to our 4th fight of the main card. We're almost at the end, as we have another old battle, this time with some males. And yeah, they're very fucking old, both 38 years old, Jesus Christ. And then our 4th fight of the main card, we had 2 welterweight, which has plenty of old fighters, these two of the oldest, as we have Santiago, Argentinian Dagger, Ponzinibbio versus Daniel D-Rod Rodriguez. This fight's okay. Would have been a lot better 6 years ago, but still a decent fight. Another old battle. Should be fun. Should be better than Yana Santos and Miesha Tate. Again, 6 years ago, this fight would have been a banger. In 2025, it's cool. Let's talk about it. I not really much more to say. And we'll begin with Santiago Ponzinibbio. Ponzi in the UFC is 12-7. Not gonna go down his whole UFC career because that'd be fucking stupid. I'll go down because we just saw him fight earlier in the year. I'll go down since coming back, like I usually do with him. Since coming back, he is 4-5. His only wins have been Miguel Baeza, Alex Morono, 3-5. Baeza, Morono, and Harrison. Really, I don't even think he won this Harris fight. That was a terrible stoppage, and he was losing that fight. His losses: Leach, Geoff Neal, Michel Pereira, Kevin Holland, Muslim Salikov. Ponzi is super old. I think he needs to retire. I don't think he's looked that good in years. The last time I would say he actually looked good was Miguel Baeza, and even then, I don't think he really looked good since coming back. He lost that Harris. He was losing that Harris fight. He was losing that Morono fight. He looked okay against Baeza. He's just not been the same since coming back. So, and he just looks old. A shell of himself who shouldn't be fighting. So, Like, again, just 4 months ago, he was not looking that good against Carlston Harris. And before that, he lost to Muslim Salikov, which, actually, Muslim Salikov was still really damn good, so what does that tell you? Ponzi's just old. It's that simple. 6 years ago, Ponzi was a gangster, bro. Ponzi was great. Now, he's just really damn old. And probably shouldn't be fighting anymore. Speaking of old-ass welterweights, D-Rod. D-Rod in UFC is 8-4, coming off Contender Series, which feels weird. His wins in UFC have been... Oh, did he not get a contract? I know he did. No, he didn't get a contract. Interesting. His wins in the UFC have been Tim Means, Gabe Green, Dwight Grant, Mike Perry, Preston Parsons, Kevin Lee, The Leech, and Alex Morono. His 4 losses have been Nicholas Dalby, Neil Magny, Ian Gary, and Kelvin Gastelum. D-Rod is also really old. He turned back the clock in his last fight looking really damn good against Alex Morono, but I think that's about his ceiling of opponent beating. He's not gonna beat anyone actually decent. Like, that 3-fight losing streak to all guys who are not garbage. Well, Ian Gary's garbage, but he's quick, and that's something D-Rod is not. D-Rod is so fucking slow. Gaston made him fight at middleweight, and Magny could still go at in 2022. D-Rod's never really been able to break that glass ceiling. He's able to beat some okay unranked guys. Tim Means, Kevin Lee, The Leech, Mike Perry, Morono. But the second he gets the real step up in competition, even a Nicholas Dalby, he loses. The good thing, Santiago Ponzinibbio in 2025 is a big step down in competition, because goddamn is Ponzi washed. And D-Rod is washed, but I think he has looked better as of late. At least if we're just going off their last fight, which D-Rod's last fight was not even that long ago. D-Rod looks better, so we'll see what happens. D-Rod, I think, has a little bit more in the tank than Ponzi at this point, but not by much. Again, if he fights anyone under the age of 65, he's gonna get put out badly, but outside of that, D-Rod still a decent striker. See how he does here. Pretty simple. The Bangouts first fight actually shocked me with how they're actually right. D-Rod minus 130 to plus 105. I would have D-Rod a little bit bigger of a favorite, maybe 140 or 160 even. D-Rod should win this fight. He's better than Ponzi in 2025. Ponzi has not looked good since coming back. He's got a few lucky knockouts. That's not looking good. After you've lost 2 rounds, that's not looking good at all. That's getting lucky. So, look at Ponzi's return resume. When has he looked good? So, yeah, D-Rod's not looked amazing lately either, but he just got a win and looked alright. And at least his 3 losses were more respectable than fucking Kevin Holland and The Leech. So, I don't know. I'm going D-Rod. I don't think he's nearly as washed as Ponzi. I think this is obviously going to be a striking match. I think this is going to be like the Muslim Salikov fight. Ponzi's going to lose a fight to a wiser, less washed veteran. So, give me D-Rod by decision. Ponzi's just a complete shell of himself. D-Rod is also, but I think D-Rod looks way better in 2025 than Santiago Ponzinibbio. So, give me D-Rod by decision. Ponzi could find that kill shot at some point in the fight. That's all we know of him. That's always a possibility. But outside of that, I think D-Rod probably does what he did against Morono. Keeps on the feet, pieces him up, and wins a decision. So, give me D-Rod by decision. I just think he's better in 2025. It's truly that simple. I think Ponzi, again, just going off their last fight, Ponzi looked awful in his last fight. D-Rod looked pretty dang good. So, gonna be D-Rod by decision in this old battle. I just don't think Ponzi has it anymore. He has not had it since coming back, if we're being honest, so... yeah. After that, now we get to the big names and fights as we head into our co-main event of the evening. Going back to the middleweight division one last time tonight for a very interesting fight that has a community split and should be very interesting. So happy to say it on a pay-per-view, as we have in our co-main event of the evening a wrestling match between Reinier the Ritter versus Nickal. This is a good one. This is a very good co-main event of a fight I'm very intrigued to see. I'm so happy this is not on a pay-per-view. If this was on pay-per-view, it'd be ruined because it would look fucking terrible. But on a co-main, on a fight night, perfect. Fucking perfect. Yeah, I can't wait for this fight. This is probably gonna be a wrestling match, and we're gonna see one of these guys take their first UCO. I'm excited. I cannot fucking wait. Let's see what happens. We'll begin the breakdown with Reinier the Ritter. Reinier in the UFC is 2-0. In his first two UFC fights, he beat GM3 and Kevin Holland, getting a little bit of a step up here, if you ask me, a tiny bit, eh? I've not been impressed with Reinier at all. Like, what is there really to be impressed with, if we're being honest? Should have been down 2-0 to GM3. Kevin Holland, who is known to not know how to grapple. Am I meant to be impressed? Because I'm not. The dude can't strike for shit. The dude has no cardio. He's 34 years old, and I've not seen anything that great in his game. His 2 wins are against pretty low-level competition. He didn't look good against one of them. The other one, he was scared to fight like most Kevin Holland opponents. I'm not impressed with Reinier. So, I don't know what you want me to say. I'm not impressed with this dude at all. I gave him a fair chance. I was intrigued in his debut against GM3, and then he looked as mid as fucking possible. Not even mid, he looked terrible. So, I don't know what you want me to say. I was gonna be honest. I've not been impressed with this dude at all. Maybe this is his time to shine. I doubt it, though. If you're talking about his opponent, Nickal. Bo in the UFC is 4-0, coming out of Contender Series. In his 4 wins, he has beat Jamie Pickett, Val Woodburn, Cody Brundage, and Paul Craig. Speaking of not being impressed, Nickal. Same thing I kind of said for Reinier. I've not been impressed with Bo at all. The only time he really looked an inch impressive with the Val Woodburn fight, where he showed off a little bit of striking, but that went away pretty quickly. Outside of that, he looked pretty below average against Jamie Pickett. He looked terrible against Cody Brundage, and he looked like he has no idea how to strike against Paul Craig. Yeah, I get the UFC wants to build the kid up, but goddamn, man. Like, if all those fights I just named were on fight nights, people would not really care. But they keep putting him on pay-per-views. This is his first time not on a goddamn pay-per-view main card, which is fucking amazing. If he was on the fight nights the whole time, people would not really be that annoyed with him. So, now he's where he belongs for right now on a fucking fight night. People are more excited to see him fucking fight instead of taking someone else's pay-per-view points and all that bullshit. So, common sense, man. Some of the UFC has no fucking idea what that even means. So, but as you talk about Bo, he's still developing as a fighter. He's 7-0, 29 years old. His striking is beyond non-existent. It's very low striking. His wrestling, we know, is great. He's one of the best wrestlers to ever enter the UFC. up there with DC, Cejudo, etc., etc. He just has to now put it together against guys who actually know how to fight, because Paul Craig, Val Woodburn, and Cody Brundage are fucking pathetic. So, this is his first time actually getting tested on the ground, more than likely, because his first 3 opponents are garbage, and Paul Craig never shot a takedown, so this is going to be his first time fighting someone with a ground game. It should be interesting. We'll see how Bo looks here. I'm very, very intrigued to see how he looks here. The betting odds for his fight have Bo Nickal minus 280 to plus 225. I don't know if I'd have him 280, but I do agree he should be the favorite. I'd probably have Bo like 210, 215. Like, I'm unbiased here, unlike most MMA Twitter and all that who hates Bo Nickal. I'm unbiased because I don't like either guy. And if I'm being honest, I think Bo Nickal's better. Like, if I'm being completely honest, I think Bo's better. In a striking match, Bo Nickal clears. Reinier can't fucking strike. Like, let's be honest. Bo Nickal's a better striker. He's not a good striker, but I think Bo can strike a way better than Reinier. And on the ground, I don't think these fancy little submissions are gonna fucking get Bo Nickal. Like, yeah, Reinier can throw his legs up around him all he wants. Bo's going to stop that shit. And then, I think the most important thing, Reinier has no cardio. He was dead tired by, like, the halfway point of the GM3 fight. Bo Nickal might not be good. That dude has a little bit of cardio. Renier's best chance of winning is a submission, and I don't think that should be your best chance of beating Bo Nickal if you want me to pick you. Give me Bo Nickal. I think he's better. If you want me to be honest, I think in a striking match, he's better, and in a grappling match, he can go longer. So, give me Bo Nickal. I think he's better. I've not been impressed with Reinier at all. So, give me Bo Nickal by decision. The only worrying thing I've seen is Bo is heavy as shit, like 2 days ago, so maybe he has a bad weight cut. Outside of that, he should beat Reinier the Ritter. So, give me Bo Nickal by decision, and what should probably be a weird fight. I'm very intrigued, but I think Bo's better. So, which is rare. I did not think I'd be saying about Bo Nickal against an actual opponent when the actual opponent is a shitty, overhyped fighter. Yeah, Bo Nickal's better. So, give me Bo Nickal by decision. I think he's just a better fighter, to be honest, in every facet. So, outside of experience, which only gets you so far, Bo Nickal by decision. Pretty simple. And now, time for the main event of the evening. Speaking of simple and predictable, the main event of the evening, I'm not going to say a lot here because I don't think there's a lot to say, as in our main event of the evening, in the bantamweight division, first bantamweight main event in what feels like a while. Usually we get a bunch of those in a year. We have to end UFC Iowa, a interesting, probably going to be very fun main event to end the night between Cory Sandhagen versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Very good fight. It would have been a lot better a few years ago, but still a very good fight. But I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Cory Sandhagen's winning this fight. Like, let's just be honest now. First of all, I'll say, and like, this is a first in a while, Cory Sandhagen's my lock of the night. I don't see him losing this fight, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and like break down this fight pretending I don't know what's gonna happen. I think we know. Cory should win this fight. He's much younger. He's much taller. He's, I think, just better. On the feet, he's better. On the ground, he's better. But please, not another boring Cory Sandhagen grappling match. Figueiredo is getting really damn old, and it showed a bit against Piotr. His only weapon at this point is power. If he can't KO you, or like he looked good in Cheeto, but Cheeto sucks. If you're a decent fighter, all he really has is power at this point. And that's kind of been the case for Figgy for a while now. Yeah, even when he was finishing the Moreno feud, like since coming up to bantamweight, he's fought either bad fighters who he could beat pretty easily, or Petr Yan, who you need more than just power to beat. Let's be honest, outside of power at this point, what does Figgy really have going for him? Grappling? Not really. Cardio? God, no. I like Figgy. He's a very fun fighter. This is going to be a very fun fight. But let's be honest, at this point in his career, I don't think Figgy can hang with the top of the division. Petr beat him. Sandhagen's about to beat him. I think Song Yadong would beat him. O'Malley would beat him. Merab would beat him. Figgy moved up too late. It's that simple. He should have moved up sooner when he was still in his prime. Like, I get he won the flyweight bout, but the bantamweight was pretty wide open at that time as well. He would have to beat Petr, which was unlikely. But, like, prime Figgy was great. Figgy now, let's be honest, he's just power. Let's be honest, how do you see him beating Cory Sandhagen? Do you think he's going to submit him? Unlikely, since his last submission win was Cody Garbrandt, and he only has 9 submissions in his career. 4 in the UFC, and they are a rear naked choke, he's not getting on Cory's back. A guillotine, he's not going to give up his neck, and that's it, guillotine and rear naked choke, so he knows the basics. Cory's not going to fall for that shit. A guy who I don't think has, outside of Aljo, has ever been submitted. So that's off table, so no submission. Do you think he's going to beat him over 25 minutes? Fuck no. Figueiredo does not have the cardio for that. He's not won a decision, a 25-minute decision, since what, one of the Moreno fights, and people don't even think he won that fight? So that's off the table. He does not have the cardio for that anymore. So your last hope is a fucking knockout. And Cory Sandhagen, a guy who I don't think's ever been knocked out. And so a dude who has a really good chin. He's been dropped a few times, but he has a good chin. I just don't see how Figgy wins this fight. His only hope's a knockout, and I don't even see how he would knock him out. Cory's much taller, much younger, much faster, and has more tools. Who's better on the feet? Cory. Who's better on the ground? Cory. Who has better cardio? Cory. I'm not even a Sandhagen fan. I've called this dude overrated and a gatekeeper multiple times, because he is. I think he is overrated. He's an aura-less O'Malley. He's an O'Malley with none of the aura or personality. But let's be honest, the dude's better than Figueiredo. Like, this is a really good fight. It's going to be probably a really fun fight early on. But I feel like by round 3, 4, and 5, it's going to be kind of... because Figgy's just going to be stumbling forward, throwing haymakers, missing. So, I just struggle to see Figgy winning this fight. Like, that's not happening. That's not happening. That's your only hope, and it's unlikely, so... give me Cory Sandhagen by decision. I just struggle to see Figgy winning this fight. I don't even need to say anything about Cory. I don't need to go in his and how he's looked lately, because like I don't really need to go into that. Figgy is the topic of this fight because he's the question mark. We know Cory. We know everything with Cory. Figgy's the question mark, and with Figgy, how does he win this fight? A fight where he's just worse in every aspect. So, give me Cory Sandhagen by decision as my lock of the night. I just struggle to make a case for Figgy winning this fight. If Figgy won, would I be upset? No, I like Figgy. I like Figgy more than I like Cory, if I'm being honest. But I just can't make a case for Figgy here. So, in a 3-round fight, you have more of a case. Still not great, but you have... the odds would be a lot closer. In a 5-rounder, I don't see it. Give me Cory Sandhagen by decision. I just struggle to see Figgy pulling this up one out of his ass. So, give me Cory Sandhagen by decision. I might have my lock of the night to end the night. The rare main event and biggest favorite on the card lock. I just can't see Cory choking this. So, unless he gets put out cold, which I've never seen happen before, and I doubt we will. Give me Cory Sandhagen by decision to end the night. A fun night in Iowa. And I'll end this breakdown with a boom. That's the card. Finally, my voice is fully gone. After we go over my picks one more time. Ivana Petrović by decision. Thomas Petersen by decision. Gaston Bolaños by decision. Gillian Robertson by submission in the first. Azamat Bekoev by knockout in the first. Yana Santos by decision. Mason Jones by decision. Cameron Smotherman by decision. Montel Jackson by decision. Daniel Rodriguez by decision. Bo Nickal by decision. And my lock of the night, Cory Sandhagen by decision. Bang. I know a lot of decisions, but how many finishes do you race out of these fights? Unlikely. Not the most possible, but unlikely. No. Maybe. Unlikely. Maybe. Doubt it. No. So what? 2 more if I think fucking this could end in a finish, and this, like, let's be honest. So, and even these are, this is an unlikely submission to be honest, and we'll see with that. So, but even for all that, it's a good card. Prelims have some good to them, some bad to them. Main card, mainly just good. Like, even this fight's not even bad, it's just weirdly placed. Main event's great, co-main's really interesting, some really good fights under it, fun banger to begin it. This is gonna be a fun night in Iowa. I'm very excited for this card. I'm very excited for a lot of these fights. Very few fights on this card I'm not excited for in some form or fashion. And let's hope we get another banging ass card like Kansas City last week, because that'd be fucking sweet. So, UFC on the road again. Let's hope we get another banger on the road before we head to Canada next week for a pay-per-view. Let's go out on a banger in Iowa. So we'll find out if this card was a banger or a failure on Sunday when I recap it, as always, sometime on Sunday. And yeah, I can't really think of much more to say. I'm very excited for this card, and hope you are as well, as we go from KC to Iowa for a card for hopefully another very, very fun fight night. On paper, it looks great, just like last week. Now, all we have to wait for is the execution. Will it live up to how good it looks? Only one way to find out, and that's to find out on Saturday night. So, and on Sunday, I'll tell you if it did. At least if I think it didn't, because my word is not law. But, yeah, that's about all I really got to say. I'm excited, and let's see some fights in how do you say it? I keep forgetting how you say Desmond, Iowa. I don't know why they don't just call it UFC Iowa. It's a lot fucking easier. But enough of me rambling for almost an hour and 40 minutes. I'm going to close out this video because I can't think of anything else to ramble about anyway. So let's end on a high note like we always do by saying, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs goal by the end of 2025. By the end, yeah, there's definitely how you say that word. By the end of 2025. And as always, unless I'm going to say something which I don't believe I am. Am I? No, broke down the card, talked about it a little more. I think we're good. As always, see y'all on Sunday, as I say, RX out. Good vibes only, and always.